For as long as I can remember, I've been preparing for death. I was born into death. Before I could speak, my guts were blocked by a polyp the size of my adult fist. While still a baby, a life-saving surgery nearly killed me, leaving me with lasting memories of death, a peaceful place of wholeness, love, and belonging, much more pleasant than my ill and pained body. I left the experience feeling that if I could just live a good life, I'd earn a good death. Heaven's gates would open and angels would clasp me to their bosoms. I'd be home again. That polyp was the first sign of my rare genetic disorder, Peutz-Jeghers syndrome. At age 16, after many years of illness, I got the official diagnosis. But even with a name, there are still limited medical treatments for the innumerable benign and malignant growths throughout my body. I'm the only one in my family with the disorder. I have a new mutation. And because I was sterilized in my late teens, I didn't pass this mutation on to anyone else. I felt alone in my family and alone in the medical world because the best medical experts had seldom seen anyone else with this disease and knew nothing about living well with it. I was on my own. It was up to me to create the healthiest possible life for myself. Being ill for many years, I never had a high-paying salary, and for many years I didn't have medical insurance. Instead, I relied on self-help, low-cost, accessible, health-promoting measures. Medical PTSD kept me from necessary medical care at times, and I distrusted doctors who expected to be all-powerful authority figures. Fortunately, I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, with complementary and alternative healers of every stripe. I've worked with healers using traditional and modern Japanese, Chinese, Tibetan, Burmese, Indian, Eastern Europe, Indian, and Native American Indian, Western, and earth-based medical models. I've tried diets ranging from whole foods to macrobiotic to vegan and raw. I've ingested flower essences, homeopathic remedies, herbs, concoctions, and decoctions. I've twisted myself into yoga poses, qigong flows, and healing clothes. I've been under the loving hands of dozens of body workers and energy workers, and I practice self-help reflexology, Reiki, Jinshin Jitsu, and acupressure. I've meditated for years and engaged mind-body medicine since before mindfulness-based medicine was even invented. In short, I've been willing to try anything that might help and won't hurt my body, being, or pocketbook. My breast cancer diagnosis at age 34 came as a huge relief. Instead of relying primarily on myself and the healing methods I'd integrated into my daily life, or medical help from textbooks and medical journals, I could join thousands of other women seeking solutions to my medical problem. I was told that if I had both breasts removed, my chance of cancer recurrence would be lowered to 1%. I've never been offered such good odds before. I did it. I first encountered my naked, breastless body in a cold bathtub, the water below my waist to protect my new steri-strip scars and 2 drains. I wailed into the cold, white room. My then partner and our visiting friend came running in response to my cries. My tears fell into the bathwater. I'd given my breast to cancer to the surgeon's knife and was left mutilated. I lost my pretty, sensitive, sexually responsive breasts. Breasts that never knew a full day in a bra. Breasts with perky nipples that rose in the chill wind or in sexual desire. Breasts that swelled and ached and flexed with my menstrual flow. Breasts that fit so neatly into clothes. A huge sacrifice, but worth it for my life. A few months later, I was in the unlucky 1% that recurred. Once again, modern medicine had failed to cure me. So, I found myself bathing in my own pee. A medical intuitive used her pendulum to prescribe urine baths as one set of a larger series of detoxifying and nutritive baths for the tumors now colonizing my bony, ribbed chest. My former roommate, an acupuncturist in Santa Cruz, had been after me for years to drink my own urine, like the people in China do. But that didn't make sense to me. Soaking in my own pee did. Once again, I found myself in the cold porcelain tub with the space heater warming my exposed skin as I alternately lifted chilled knees and chilled torso from the smelly, tepid water. Having failed to prevent cancer recurrence, I took my healing in my own hands. The medical intuitive prescribed the baths, but I did them on my own. In another alchemical act, I ground my own cancerous tumor into a homeopathic remedy and took it for 2 years to help my body recognize and respond to the cancer that tried to evade detection and death. After 23 years with active advanced breast cancer, I've outlived my prognosis by over 20 years. Cancer has continued its slow progression through my body. I've had over 40 surgical procedures and over 800 intravenous infusions. I'm still walking around in spite of missing many organs and carrying hundreds of growths that can't be removed. My left lung barely functions and my liver is dotted with tumors. I'm often asked for my survival secrets. Casual questioners conclude, it must be my attitude. The religious attribute it to God's will. Life-threatened cancer patients want a formula, a quick fix, few-step recipe for success that I just can't give. Was it the urine baths? Which dietary change when? The mistletoe-based Iscador that saved me when chemotherapy failed 18 years ago? Going to grief rituals? Resolving medical PTSD? The many years I've served ill and dying people? Love. Since I've lost too many bodily organs and functions to be physically whole, I've focused on other ways of being whole, including what I call earning my death. Nothing suicidal, morose, or depressive about it, just a realistic knowledge that I can be whole in spirit, if not in body. I chose to fall into life. I chose to fall into community by serving others with cancer and my rare genetic disorder. For 14 years, I've run the acor.org online support group for people with Peutz-Jeghers syndrome, studying, writing, speaking, and blogging about our rare genetic disorder. I'm the biggest Peutz-Jeghers syndrome geek in the world. I'm no longer a tribe of one, but an elder in a worldwide tribe of many who share the diagnosis. And I collaborate with scientific researchers and medical professionals interested in our syndrome. At smartpatients.com, I contribute both my life experience and research skills to a wider cancer community. During my long years with breast cancer, I've become a cancer ambassador and a cancer elder. As a cancer ambassador, I've welcomed many to Cancerland, offering orientation, resources, encouragement, and most importantly, a listening ear and a listening heart. As a cancer elder, I've grown in compassion, wisdom, serenity, and wonder. I've proven to be a useful member in many persons living and dying. I've sat at many deathbeds as a volunteer hospital chaplain, a close friend, a daughter, and a human being. I've studied death because I know it is my fate, though I have no idea when nor what needs to happen before I'm released from this diseased body. In preparing for my own death, I chose to lean into loved ones who've supported me in the most extraordinary ways. My beloved doctors are my allies in healing and dying. My friends, gather to support me in sickness and in health, until death do we part. My death care wishes are known. Hospice at home, a 3-day wake at home, funeral, and cremation. All that's left to do is to continue to live as fully and wholly as I have throughout my lifetime. Life-threatening illness is my lifelong teacher. For as long as I can remember, I've been preparing for death. For as long as I can remember, life calls me back again, healing into this body, this life, these losses, this grief, this change, this mystery, this love, this gratitude, this generosity, this belonging is my path. As my disease continues to progress, death's horizon is always almost close enough to touch, but just beyond my reach. Yet I can look back on my full, rich life and feel grateful for death's ever-present company. Death, you've given me a life worth living.